and made us little property owners and tax and laws and interest and bankers and lawyers and mortgage brokers, and that's what we have to live with. So they've broken us all up. And the economic crisis makes it worse. Not one single brick of public housing has been built since the Reagan administration. Yeah. Just remember that. And Greenspan and everybody after him pushed housing on everybody. Yeah. For the mortgage industry, the banking industry, and the housing and construction industry. And I believe Greenspan even once said, in order to have a stable base of capitalism, you have to have people who have a stake in property. He said that. They're class conscious, very class conscious. I'm digressing. The point is that the economic crisis breaks up the workers. And it makes it harder to organize. But it has to be done. So the way to do it is the way our party is doing it, and other groups are doing it. We know that there's struggles everywhere, like the struggle in Michigan State, like the struggle to get people back into their houses in foreclosures here, like the struggle of the mott workers in New York State against huge concessions. There are struggles every place, in the Bronx in New York, against the police in Los Angeles. We have to be wherever the struggle is, so that we can have, first of all, meet those who are fighting, because that's who we want to be with. And that's whom we want to be with us, those who want to fight and resist oppression and exploitation and more. That's what we need to meet everybody who's in there and get experience in the struggle and help them in their struggles. Right now, the class as a whole is not in motion. But there are pockets of struggle everywhere. You just have to look for 2 minutes and you'll find somebody, some group, some neighborhood, some plant, some office fighting against something. And what is our purpose? It's twofold. To help them struggle. And to bring the programs that we have for the government jobs program and so on, and popularize it gradually as much as we can, but also to bring the message that we gotta fight capitalism, that we have to fight for socialism, that socialism means taking all of these things that we need to live, the whole economy, out of the hands of private owners and putting it in the hands of the workers and the oppressed to use it for human needs on a planned basis. That's what it means. And we have to have confidence in that program and that perspective. Oh God, thanks God it's you, not me. I thought it was my phone. We need to have confidence in that as a perspective and know that capitalism has within it the seeds of its own destruction. Yes. But it doesn't self-destruct. That's the secret. There's nothing that they can't get out of if we let them. The workers were unable to overthrow the capitalist class in Europe and in the United States in the 1930s. It was a pre-revolutionary situation in the United States. There were about close to 1,000 sit-down strikes between 1936 and 38. All over the United States. Plant seizures. I mean, violations of capitalist property. The war turned everything in the other direction. There were huge struggles in Europe. Civil war in Spain. General strikes in France, so on and so forth. They were unable to overthrow the capitalist class, and they got out of it by making a huge war and killing 30 or 40 million people and destroying property on all the continents and rebuilding it. And they rose like a phoenix from the ashes as a class. We can't make that mistake this time around. We have to build a party, a revolutionary workers' party that has all this information in its head and has a clear goal Not that we spend all our time yelling socialism from the rooftops. That's not the point. The point is to know where we're going. That everything we do has to be in the direction of undermining the capitalist order of things. That's what, if you're fighting for a street light, if you're fighting for a price decrease, the goal has to be in confrontation with the property owners, to undermine them as a class, and have that as your aim to help the workers once they come alive, and they will. They've been under tremendous pressure for the last 50 years, 70 years actually, in this country. They've been shaped by powerful forces of world imperialism, of U.S. imperialism, of anti-communism, of anti-unionism, of everything that's progressive. The little beginning of class consciousness in the 30s was stamped down. But you can't change the fact that they're returning to the conditions that created this revolutionary and pre-revolutionary consciousness. That's what capitalism is doing now. It's recreating, even in a worse way in my opinion, the conditions that initially led to the upsurge of the working class and to the rise of its class consciousness. That's a scientific thing. I didn't invent the jobless recovery. I didn't invent the shrinkage of General Motors in the auto industry and the housing industry. I didn't invent the fact that the capitalist state has to hold the capitalist system up to keep it from falling apart, and that can't go on forever. That's a fact. It's a fact. So what we say is not something we wish, we hope, we're saying what is. That's the point. So consequences flow from that. Consequences. The real consequences that we need to prepare for the struggle, and in a struggle, a party that's conscious of its revolutionary goals is absolutely indispensable to the process of getting rid of capitalism altogether. That's it.